Hello everyone, Pyramid Intel. I'm going to talk about why it's important to address the negative thoughts and things that are happening in the world as well as the positive ones. It's kind of a complicated topic for me, at least, to wrap my head around, and I think I understand it well enough to talk about it. I'll do my best, and hopefully as time goes on I will learn more information, which I'll be happy to bring to this channel and talk about. So if thoughts create things, why would you want to become aware or acknowledge whatsoever atrocities that are going on in the world, things like that? If the news and everything is so bad, then why ever turn it on or acknowledge it in any way? That's a really great question. I'm gonna do my best. Okay. Okay. It's necessary to integrate. We know that we need to integrate all parts of ourselves, the dark and the light, male to female, the positive and the negative. We live in a polarized society. The lower in frequency that you go, the more polarized you become. And the higher you go, the more full of information and light you become, the more integrated you become. And so, if you leave any parts of our reality, our frequency band, unacknowledged, you will not be able to achieve full integration. Just as in psychology, if you leave any parts lurking in your subconscious that you've buried, anything in the darkness, anything you're not looking at, anything that you're pushing aside and denying, you cannot achieve an integration mentally. You're not completely well-rounded and healthy because of the hidden parts. Anything that we find to be absolutely true will be true in all areas. That's why once you start to grasp it, the rules actually appear so simple, because it's like fractals. It's like repeating patterns. Everything in this reality, as above, so below, and so on and so on and so on, it repeats. We live in a reality constructed of patterns, repetitive patterns. So if thoughts create things, that means that everything that is in our reality, everything that's happening, positive and negative, that we have all created it, all of it. We created it together, collectively. That's what collective consciousness is. That's what it means. We are all one. We all come from the same spark, the same creative spark, God spark, one big bang, whatever you want to call it. And so because of that, we are all connected. Goes into, I'm not going to get into quantum physics and particles and stuff here right now, but yeah, when someone's moving over here and doing something, this one is going to be affected by it. That's just how it works, and that's how human Wi-Fi works, and everything. You pick up on things because of that connection. So that's why we all have to take responsibility for everything that's going on here, and in order for us to ascend as a whole, then we have to look at it as a whole. And that's really painful. That's really, really painful. Any sort of work that you are doing involving having to look at all these dark things, whether it's a thought or something that you did or something that part of the human race collectively is doing or has done, it's not easy. So that's why you want to examine it and pay attention and not be an ostrich and stick your head in the sand. Pretty sure that no ostrich has ever fared well by sticking his head in the sand and refusing to look. They're still going to get eaten by whatever was chasing it. So it doesn't mean that you should or that you need to sit there and dwell on it either. You don't need to watch the news 24/7. In fact, it's not recommended because it is intentionally meant to keep you focused on the negative. And then you will be thinking of the negative and you'll be recreating the negative. That is what the goal is of the people in charge of mainstream television. They have a captive audience and they create emotions and they control your thoughts. They're running the same story over and over and over, stamp, 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 creating very loud files in your mind that you cannot forget, okay? And so you are thinking about that all the time, and that's when you start manifesting the negative. The ideal numbers are 10%. 10% looking at the negative or at the news or thinking about something that is in your reality that you do not care for, or globally that you do not care for. And then 90% of the time you spend on manifesting, creating your own reality, thinking about positive things, creating a new world that is opposite of the negative that you do not care for. Abraham Hicks often says, you know what you don't want, then you know what you do want. It's like when you make that list, take out a piece of paper, write down everything you don't like about something, and then write down everything you do like. Your negative list will be so much longer because we've been trained to focus on the negative. That's why we keep creating for thousands of years the negative, because we have been programmed to function in this way. And then we wonder why we can't create something positive. So that it would be why you are focusing too much on the negative, but you can reprogram your brain. It's really great to take out the sheet of paper and do this test, and then you can see that what I'm saying is true, and it really will freak you out if you've never done it before. Almost any topic, you will have 3, 4, 5, 10 times more negative things than positive things, and that's okay. That's a great place to start, no matter what you're doing, because after examining that list, it clears that space. Okay, I've examined that really well, and now if that's not what I want, then you can go to your positive list and create that. So that way there's nothing lurking in there. You've acknowledged everything. If we do not do this collectively, if we refuse to look at the truths, no matter how ugly they are, we will not be able to integrate correctly so that collectively we can continue to ascend. Everything has to come out into the open, and everything has to be acknowledged. There are challenges here because it's really easy to become overwhelmed and surprised and fixated from the shock of looking at big negatives. All the more reason to address them and look at them and then move on as you go along. If you spend your entire life refusing to look at something and then you come across something that is negative, you're going to be a lot more shocked. Here's an example. When you have a baby, you have a young child, it's innocent, it has not experienced anything negative, and you want that child to have that experience for as long as possible. You don't want them to encounter the ugliness of the world, the negativity of the world, because it's painful. It's painful, and you don't want them to see that. But as a parent, I think you can understand, if you have a daughter, a sweet, innocent daughter, and you lock her in a room, and now she's 30, and she has never had any experience of anything negative, of the dangers that are out in the world and so on, have you benefited that child? You know, at some point you have to educate this child so that she can be prepared for any of the ugliness and craziness that does exist in the world. Why? Because it's there. And eventually you know that the child will encounter it, and it is not going to be to her benefit to not have considered it, to know that this exists. She will not be able to defend herself. She will not be able to create a safe, beautiful life for herself if she does not have that awareness. Denial of it does not make it go away. And so You have to teach your child how to accept the truths of the world and create something better and safer for herself. She does not have to live in that reality, but she needs to know about that reality. Something like that. So that's why you want to know of everything and integrate it. You know there are criminals in the world. You don't walk around thinking about criminals 24/7, perhaps. And you get to make a choice. Are you going to create a reality where criminals all around you and threatening you all times is going to be a part of your reality? No, one who doesn't want that to be their reality would work toward creating a reality where that is not going to enter, or the chances of it entering are very slim. Creating a reality where you can live in a neighborhood where there are not a lot of criminals. Creating a reality where you have physical manifestations of protection. Locking your house and locking up your belongings every day. Not allowing just anyone to be around you. Trying to find out the characters of the people around you and surround yourself with people that are on the same path, a path of truth and honesty, where you don't have to be paranoid, who are, that kind of thing. So you get the picture. So that is why you need to be aware of everything, accept everything. Do not get lost in spinning out thinking about these things, but look at them and then turn away and create another reality, one where that does not exist, a reality where that is not created, where people do not turn to creating something like that, because everything that exists has indeed been created by people on our planet. And we need to create a planet, a society, where that is not a desirable thing to create at all. There is a reason why that was created. Someone thought that was a good idea for some reason. There is some lack or fear or something that made people create that reality. And to bring us all into a higher reality, you want to create a reality where that is not necessary, that is not a thought process, if that makes sense. And I will build on this because this is a really big topic, and as we are all moving forward and creating a new reality, I think we need to address it. This pyramid intel, I'm going to title Why You Need to Examine All Parts of the Reality, both positive and negative, in order to create a better future. So I hope that helps, and I hope that you are having a really great week. Talk to you later. Bye.